Hey, look, listen, wake up, don't sleep on this topic.
Hey, we can't sleep in the recording booth. We gotta do the intro.
Wait, one intro.
This one. Welcome to the Switch Clicks podcast, episode 146. Now, I'm your host, Kaiser, and here are my co-hosts, Nathan.
Oh, hey, and don't mind our other co-host. He's still waking
Yes.
up here.
And here is the Sleeping Beauty, Dakota.
Yeah, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, on this topic, honestly.
Oh dear, that's already a fire hazard in and out of itself. Just by hearing those words.
Sorry, that's just my hot take.
So, long story short, Pokemon Sleep has been released over the past week, and I guess there was a bit of a beta before that. And Kaiser here hasn't actually played Pokemon Sleep.
Sorry.
Neither has Tyler, despite being the resident Pokemon fan here.
Unfortunately,
he's not. Unfortunately, he's actually sleeping on it, or presumably sleeping on it. But Dakota and I have given it a few nights worth of tries, and we have some things to say about it. Good things, some bad things. I guess I'll hand over the mic to you if you're still awake, Dakota.
Yeah, I think I've tried it for technically 3 nights, but 2 nights on my current account. There was a bug my first night. I finished it all, got through everything, and then I tried to do it the next night, and I just got stuck on some screen.
Oh.
It just was going through text super speed, and then it wouldn't go past a certain point. So I had to restart the app, or I had to re-download the app, and kind of lose all my progress.
Oh, that's...
But overall, it's all right. It's just a very limited sleep tracker.
Yeah.
And the user experience is not amazing.
I 100% agree with that. This game is, I guess it's taking its first baby steps. There really isn't much to it other than being a overglorified, well, not even, that's actually overstatement. It's just another alarm clock that you can use if you want to. It tracks whenever you really want to have meals every day, I suppose. I don't know. I know this game was hyped up a lot for one thing. They talked about this for years already, and this is how much we got for a game that we've been waiting for.
This is what they had to show for?
Like, were they actually sleeping on the job when they were making this game?
Honestly, they probably were.
I mean,
that's probably how they made this game.
It does come from the developers of what is it called? Magikarp Jump.
Yeah.
If you remember that a few years ago.
I do not remember it.
That game was great.
Select button.
Well, Magikarp Jump is really funny, actually. I love it.
The fact that they went from that...
That was a really solid game.
They went from that to this. I'm not sure what to say about it.
You see, the issue is Magikarp Jump is an actual game. So really
true.
That is a good point. So that is a legitimate game. They made it with gameplay in mind. This is more like Tamagotchi or something with sleeping mechanics as its main focus. Well,
yeah, that's probably the best example.
Yeah, less Tamagotchi, but like definitely playing a bit into that while also keeping a bit towards the Pokemon side of things.
Me when I literally ignore my Pokemon.
That's a neglect.
At least the Snorlax can't just like die.
I know, at least the Snorlax just keeps sleeping throughout the day. Or lies there, smiling. There's really no consequence to skipping the game other than not really getting as many points, I suppose.
Yeah, I believe there's different missions and whatnot for a streak. And it kind of makes you have a habit, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've kind of like used it and like it hasn't really changed anything for my daily routine. It just takes like a few minutes away from what I usually do every day.
Yeah. You just wake up. Oh, let's see what's here. Anyways.
Actually,
like I said earlier, the UX is, I think, complete garbage.
Oh, easy.
The menu system is rough. Every single thing you click on to go to a separate menu has a loading screen.
Yeah, I don't know why it takes so long to load into like even the simplest like settings menu. Like that shouldn't take anything longer than 5 seconds, but it does.
You're right. It should take more than 50.
What, so we can sleep while waiting?
Yeah, so we can actually just
Oh my
to go into the settings. By the time we get there, we're probably just taking a nap already.
gosh.
Like, honestly, that sounds like a chore. Yeah, I'm all for it, actually, because it sounds hilarious.
It also sounds really tiring and sleepy and
Yeah, if it sounds hilarious, in practice it's horrible.
Hey,
I'm literally clicking around right now, and within like, I don't know, 5 seconds, I can get through maybe one menu area.
I know, that's how slow it is. But I mean, the game also has other problems too. Like for some apparent reason, I got like 5 friend requests, right? I got one from you, Dakota. I got like 3 others. One of them, my 5th one came from I think Japan. And every time I click on it, every time I try to add the friend, my game soft locks. I don't know why. I can't add international people for whatever reason.
dang.
Like, are they trying to force me to stay in the Americas? Like, I don't know if that was something they're trying to fix, but like, what I'm trying to say, what my point is here is that I don't think the app is really that well optimized. There's so many issues with it. I think there was a daylight savings issue that they recently fixed, where your Snorlax meal times, like let's just say for example it was 6 o'clock our time, but apparently it still thinks that we're in, I think, daylight savings time, so that would be like 5 p.m. our time for dinner.
Huh.
And they only
I just did not think about that.
Yeah, they only just recently fixed this. I don't know why they didn't bother using like your phone's clock for that matter. It was really confusing.
More than likely because you can spoof if you use your own clock.
That is true. You can spoof, but then the game kind of forces you to.
Hey, you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep your hours back.
Yeah, that's true. There are a couple of things that still don't make sense to me about those issues. It's just I'm surprised that they managed to screw up the daylight savings thing first and foremost.
Honestly, the team has to just wake up to really improve these things. Okay, it's gotta open their eyes a bit.
I wonder how
It's weird because I'm pretty sure this game was on the back burner for a few years. It was announced, and then like at the start of Sword and Shield, right?
Let me see when this game was announced. Hold on. Let me just see when.
I think it was past Sword and Shield.
It was
or maybe like a year or two past.
It was like when the DLC was announced.
People were talking about it on Twitter, like, "Oh, remember that this was announced and has never been released."
Yeah, it was announced in May 28th, 2019. What day was that for? During a press conference in Tokyo?
Well, that would have just been May 28th.
May.
I guess that would be the E3 Pokemon Direct that always happened
Oh,
before E3.
right, yeah. So I guess that was during DLC announcements, or
I think that might have been Pearl and Diamond remake.
Oh, like
So.
Gen 4.
That's when they announced it. I think.
Gen 4 remakes plus like Legends Arceus or something like that.
I think that might have been that day. Yeah.
Okay. That's actually a lot more. That's actually a lot more recent than I realized.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would have been like during Sword and Shield's time, but surprisingly it wasn't. It was a little later than that. Wow, though, that's still like a bit like a 4-year wait for a game that doesn't really have that much other than sleeping and like maybe 15 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, and these are some slow developers.
Yeah.
If so.
4 years. That's the standard.
I mean, you got 2 years for Call of Duty.
That's true. 2/3 depending on their cycle.
Yeah.
Now
I can't think of any other games that are like this.
I honestly can't either, other than the Tamagotchi and the The mobile
Tamagotchi.
the mobile ripoffs of Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it, but like it doesn't even touch that deeply into it. Like you don't need to take care of all these other stats that you would with those digital pets. It still has it still has your basic Pokemon stuff. Like, leveling up is still a thing, but they do it in such a way that is so dependent on your sleep schedule. I'm not sure how this would affect people necessarily. If it would, extend their sleep schedules, or if it would shorten it, or it cause people to go take more naps. It certainly hasn't done anything for me. That's what I can say.
Yeah, I've seen people that grind it, where they
Oh.
have multiple devices on their bed
Jesus.
and
That is
sleep with multiple accounts.
that is sad.
Bro, if I wanted to sleep, I'll sleep. I'm not gonna run like 10 devices idly by. Oh, I'm gonna turn on my computer and download Pokemon Sleep on that.
Oh, if only.
No way.
I think there's a catch though. I believe this game does use both the microphone and gyroscope on your phones to
Wow.
Yeah.
measure everything.
It has to.
It has to. Otherwise, because there's actually my second night, I actually kept it on my desk beside my bed. Unfortunately, it died out like at 4 a.m. in the morning or something. It stopped reading stuff. So my assumption was that because I wasn't moving at all, like the table wasn't moving at all, it probably thought I was either cheating or just not really doing anything.
Yeah, I wasn't tracking it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Nothing was moving.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to keep it in my bed because the first night I made a bit of a mistake and kind of got close to overheating my phone. Because here's the problem. So when you enter sleep mode, there's that blue screen with Pikachu sleeping on top of that Pokeball carpet. You got your alarm clock set. I lowered the brightness of my phone all the way to minimum. Turned off the adaptive brightness and just kept it at the lowest possible brightness. It was still a little bit too bright for me. And it didn't even take it. I waited like maybe half an hour and it still didn't dim all the way, which was very concerning to me. So I did a really dangerous thing and put a really light pillow on top of my phone.
Oh no.
Next thing I knew,
That's bad.
Next thing I knew, in the morning, my phone was freaking hot, and like I had to unplug it. I had to quickly do the stuff in the app and shut off my whole phone, and actually cool it down somewhere. That was horrible. And I think on my third night, I decided to finally do things properly and try to sleep through that blue light that was illuminating my room, because the screen, for whatever reason, doesn't dim any further down. I don't know. Like, it's in some ways I'm not really impressed by. Once again, it's a UX. It's a UI problem, but
I think that's a you thing.
Is that
For
for
me,
me?
it worked fine.
Did your
Wow.
phone like shut off within like 15 minutes or so? Like, did the screen go black?
Yeah, within like 10 seconds, it
You're
goes
kidding.
black.
Why does it take my phone like 30 minutes or an hour?
Damn.
There we go. I just
That's
tried
crazy.
it just now and had it on my desk, and yeah,
Wow.
it took.
Okay.
Let's see.
That is
Wow.
very concerning.
Yeah, after about like 5 seconds, it turns off.
Why does my phone not do that? What the heck?
You might have
Let
to
me
go in
tell
the.
this man.
I know you have an Android phone, so you might have to go in the settings and see if it has like access to your screen brightness or
Oh
something.
dear. Well, you know what? That doesn't really doesn't have the permissions to do that. I don't actually know if that's the problem or if it's the game booster that's the problem.
The game booster.
Because I know my Samsung has a game booster app that lets me boost performance and, cuts off all the other apps. But I'm not sure what's going on here. That's
Yeah, because I have seen online that the fire department says not to have your phone on your bed and plugged in. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's
Under
reasonable.
any circumstance, are you to?
But when the screen is on,
keep your...
but when the screen's on, the temperature's going to rise even faster than it would normally.
Yeah.
Which kind of concerns me. Do I really want to be sleeping, resting my head beside a potential bomb? Lithium ion bomb?
Yeah,
True.
and it's not better if you put like an ice pack. That's probably worse.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that.
You could just sleep
Um,
in the basement.
My unfinished basement, sure.
I'll finish it for you. No worries. Yeah,
if
I
anything,
just need to catch a few Z's, and then I'm up.
if your room isn't well ventilated, then that's just like a problem separate from the app. But if anybody's honestly worried about that, you can grab, I'd say, like some solid object, like a piece of wood or like maybe a solid book or something. You could put
Oh,
that
a book.
underneath the book, and it'll still track your movements because the book or the piece of wood will move,
Mhm.
but it'll stay like kind of at a decent temperature and not your bed sheets, which will keep the heat a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were thinking with that.
Yeah, I'll just take a piece of wood and put it on my bed and just shake it.
Just shake it.
You're putting your phone face down, right?
No, I kept the screen face up because that's what it told me to do.
It tells you to put it face down.
No, it does not. It tells you to put it face up. It tells you not to. It tells you not to put it face down. Otherwise, it won't measure things properly.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, let me pull up the instructions
Because
right
mine
now.
automatically turns off when I put it face down. It does not turn off when I keep it face up.
But it told you explicitly not to put it face down. Otherwise, it doesn't measure stuff properly. Let me pull up the instructions again if I can access them. But I have a feeling otherwise I would have done this a long time ago, like since the first nights. But I do vaguely remember something in the instructions telling you not to put it face down, no matter how obstructive the screen is.
Under any circumstance, are you to put it face down? It must be face up. I want to look at the ceiling.
Yeah. Let's find the tutorials. Oh, and I guess we should probably, while we're trying to do this, what are some things that like you'd want in this game that aren't currently in it?
Biggest thing would be like health app integration.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Android has the same thing, but
Yeah.
specifically Apple has, if you have an Apple Watch, then it'll put all that data into the health app, and then you can previous data. That's like really helpful. As well as I know they don't use external devices because they want to sell the Pokemon Go Plus device. But you Apple Watch support or just like any fitness watch support. Because they already have that stuff built in, and it's a lot more accurate.
Yeah, it's a lot more accurate and definitely a lot more safer than having a whole phone. Android definitely does that, so I definitely want the equivalent there. What I would want, at least in this game, maybe some kind of well, actually, I wouldn't say a battle system because that's not really the point of this game. But I definitely want something to do with. I definitely want them to dive a little bit more into the whole gameplay aspect and maybe introduce something like dreams or something that your Pokemon can do while you're sleeping. Something to just your Pokemon don't have to necessarily just sleep and gather resources for you. There's something else they can do with that level. Maybe something, just maybe something that isn't just a sleep simulation, like a battle.
Simulate sleep. Yeah.
I want something like a dream sequence or a battle or something that you can just get your Pokemon to do in their dreams while you go to sleep.
Yeah, like they can train or something in their dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to really go that angle, or maybe there's some dream fighting and people on your friends list or people in the real world, you fight Pokemon in your sleep.
Oh yes, we integrate the dream world from Gen 5.
Yeah, exactly. They could go through. They could add a story, and you kill a Darkrai at the end of the game.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Imagine
I can catch Pokemon here. That's crazy. Oh my god! I can take it for my cartridge.
Now, if they were to add in like Pokemon Home functionality, I think that completely break the whole game, the whole meta.
Oh yeah, that would completely break it.
Yeah, like you'd be grinding this game a lot more than you'd be grinding regular Pokemon at that point.
I think the farthest they would go is have Pokemon Go integration. Any Pokemon you get has like stats you can upload into Pokemon Go and play with them.
That's almost still kind of really broken to an extent too when you think about it. Well, depends on the stat, but
yeah, I think you almost get the same. You get Pokemon the same at the same speed, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah, if it was like a Pokemon collector like Pokemon Go, I'd be okay with transferring, but definitely anything outside of that, like grinding Pokemon for progression, that's gonna be busted.
It's funny that they still have shinies.
Yeah, what the heck? I think that's really all that there is to it. There's really not much else that they could really add to this alarm clock sleep simulator.
Outside of not making it, a bomb.
A bomb, yeah. Not bloating the app to make it explosive.
Download the app and put yourself on a timer.
Exactly. Sleep beside a bomb.
And there still is no like long-term proof on how healthy it is for your phone battery. So that's what I'm kind of worried about.
Oh, I am,
because I have a pretty new phone, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to keep that for as long as possible.
I am guaranteeing you that the temperature plus the like kind of keeping it charged in all the time. Like I know if you keep charging it, it's fine, but I know that if you charge it at like maybe 80% or 70%, it's gonna be straining your battery and reducing its longevity. That kind of stuff, I know it's gonna make your phone worse. Like I know this game is not really that healthy for your phone.
The thing is, it's the heat that kills hardware.
The heat is ultimately the biggest risk here, and it might not even just be the battery that dies too.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's about time to hit the hay. Thank you for joining us in discussing Pokemon Sleep. Now, we would love it if you could follow us on Threads and Twitter, or X, whatever they're calling it now. Listen to future episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Join our community Discord server to continue today's discussion. And we'll see you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast.
Oh man, your yawn is contagious.